It's not very often that Canada gets vehicles that you can't buy in the United States. We've had a couple, like the Nissan Micra, the Chevrolet Orlando, and the Chevy Trax actually came here before it went south of the border. Now that's mainly because we're a tiny country. We have a population of 36 million people across the country. The state of California alone has a population of 39 million people. So we just don't have the buying power usually to warrant getting our own vehicles. But right here is another exception to that rule. This is the 2019 Ram 1500 Sport, and as it sits, this truck is only available here in Canada. Up the Ram 1500 Sport? Well, first of all, it's not the nuts and bolts, the engine, anything mechanical. This truck still uses, just like south of the border, a 5.7 liter Hemi V8, 8-speed automatic, sent to all four wheels, has a proper transfer case. All of that stuff is the same. No, the difference here is basically the styling. So Ram Canada says last year, just about 1 in 4 Rams sold went out with the Sport Appearance Package. Canadians love the package, so the brand decided, let's just make it its own trim level just for Canada, which is exactly what they did. So let's walk around the truck and I'll show you what makes it a Sport. The first thing is the monochromatic look, and that's thanks to that body color bumper and the body color mirror caps. Now next up, black badging all the way around, and up front here, a black billet grille. Now standard on this truck are these bi-LED headlights. Inside they have black bezels and they have those LED daytime running lights which give them a unique look. And down here we have LED fog lights. Now our truck, it is an option, has the optional Sport hood which comes with these black heat extractors which Ram says are functional. Now next up are the wheels. Now standard on the Sport are 20-inch wheels, but we have this beautiful set of 22s. Look at those guys. So moving back, there's another black Ram badge. There's the rear wheel. Now back here on the tailgate, of course we have a Sport badge, which is unique to this truck, along with the blacked out Ram's head. And then pulling back, we have a nice looking dual exhaust. Really what the Sport package seems to do is get rid of a lot of the chrome and different trim bits and just give the whole truck a really unified look. And if you ask me, I think it's one slick looking half-ton. On the inside, this Ram 1500 Sport gets a blacked out interior. Now that's no different from other Rams, but what is unique is the exclusive combination of different trim touches, including the satin light black chrome highlights, real metal trim, and the diamond plate look on the center stack. Now the instrument panel and the cluster brow are soft wrapped and feature diesel gray French accent stitching, while of course there's another Sport badge which is unique to the model and it's added to the upper glove box. It's very common for Canadian market vehicles to have standard heated seats, and the Ram 1500 Sport is no different. Now, standard on this truck, you get power heated Sport cloth premium vinyl seats, but our truck has the optional leather seats. Now, of course, they're heated and ventilated, but Ram actually says that this embossed texture right here is unique to Canada. So for all the US viewers, if by now you're saying, damn, that thing looks good and I want one, well, don't worry, you can get something very similar. If you spec out a Laramie with the Sport Appearance Package, you'll get these LEDs thanks to the Laramie, and then you'll get the monochromatic bumper and mirror caps and door handles. Now the difference is in the States, you won't get these blacked out badges. Now on the interior, it's basically the exact same, except for in Canada, we get a few different trim pieces you don't get, and we get those unique seats which have just a bit of a different texture to them. So the next question is, what does it cost? Well, for a base 4x4 sport model crew cab here in Canada, you're looking at $58,295. But there are a lot of options you can add to this truck, like the panoramic sunroof, those big 22-inch wheels, 4-corner air suspension, and a bunch more. Now this truck we're in right here is pretty much loaded all the way up, and it rings in just a little bit below $75,000. But that just means that you can basically get all of the best stuff that Ram has to offer and still get it in this cool, unique sport package. So if this is the look that you're going for, you have to go for the sport. And it's nice that Ram offers all of those options on this truck. Although not every option is available. For instance, that big 12-inch touchscreen, you have to bump up to at least a Laramie to get that thing. So that's about everything that makes this sport package unique. So let's just talk about ride and handling now, which is the same as every other Ram. So like I mentioned, our truck has the 4-corner air suspension and the 5.7 Hemi V8, which is good for 395 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque. And I think the biggest improvement for 2019 that you notice right away is how quiet this interior is. Ram did an exceptional job at making this an ultra quiet cruising truck. The handling differences are interesting as well, because while this Ram actually got a little bit bigger than the last generation, the rear seat in this crew cab is massive. So the truck actually got just a little bit bigger, but it drives a little bit smaller. I always found that the last generation Ram was sort of the biggest, heaviest feeling half-ton. It liked to kind of push wide going through corners, stuff like that. This 19 doesn't really have those traits. It feels much lighter on its feet. It is physically lighter than the last truck. Ram did take away a few 100 pounds, but that's not the only thing I think that's doing the work here. It's just an all-new frame, all-new suspension tuning, and what you get in the end is a truck that is quiet, and because it cruises so nice down the road, it feels absolutely luxurious. There is just the faintest amount of pickup truck chatter that comes through the suspension when you're running over bumps, but really it's almost all been tuned out. So, you know, I think Ram really jumped to the front of the pack when it comes to just overall empty cruising comfort. Okay, here comes good, bad, and weird, and for the good, I have to go with these storage compartments back here under the rear carpet. Now they flip open like that, and this thing is quite deep. I mean, it's almost half the way up to my elbow. You could fit quite a bit of stuff in there, and then it's locked, safe, and secure, and not only that, it's also hidden. So if you don't know those boxes are there, you're never gonna find them. Okay, now for the bad. It's very hard to find something bad about this truck, but I have a bone to pick with Ram. Right now, it looks like there's going to be no regular cab version of this 2019 1500. And I'm just worried that Ram is forgetting about the working man, the bottom end of the market. Now, they did release the Ram Classic, which is the last gen body style. It is still being manufactured and you can still buy it. So you can get a regular cab Ram, but what if I don't want the old one? I want the new one. There's some pretty incredible things that Ram did to this frame. And if I want a basic reg cab 8-foot box work truck with this frame underneath it, you cannot get it. So like I said, I'm just worried that Ram is forgetting about that base end of the market. And for the weird, I gotta go with the standard CD player. Honestly, how many vehicles have CD players these days? Now, I'm one of the last guys I know who actually still listens to CDs, so I actually kind of like it. But the majority of people, they just go Bluetooth and you're good to go. So honestly, who needs the CD player? Now, when it comes to this powertrain, we have the fairly bulletproof 5.7 liter Hemi V8. This thing makes tons of power. It's delivered very smoothly. It feels like it comes on low in the rev range. And despite the fact that the cabin is quiet, it still has a decent growl. Although, no, absolutely, it's muted, you know. Compared to other half-tons, this is definitely a quiet exhaust note. It's a nice note, but it's a quiet one. So if you like to hear a screaming V8, this is not your truck. So taking taking just a quick look at fuel economy, first of all, this 2019 Ram is not rated yet by Natural Resources Canada, so there's no Canadian ratings on this truck just yet. Now, the mile per gallon ratings are right here, and so far in my day of testing, I'm getting 17 liters per 100 kilometers, but over the last 600 kilometers of driving, the truck is averaging 16.5 liters, so not exactly great. But I mean, like, it's a big thirsty V8, it's got lots of power, just don't expect to save too much fuel with this Hemi. I'm also going to touch on all the technology here on my center stack. So funny enough, I was just in a Ram Limited with the big 12-inch touchscreen, and I actually kind of prefer this setup. It has a lot more physical buttons. Now, they did keep a few physical buttons around that big touchscreen, but this small 8-inch screen, it has way more physical buttons, but they're just laid out smarter. They're more at hand, and I like them. I think they're nice looking buttons. They even have nice rubberized feel to them. And then when it comes to the actual system, Uconnect is great. This is the, sorry, I said 8-inch, it's 8.4-inch touchscreen, and this latest version of Uconnect, it's seamless as far as I can tell. It's absolutely fast. It gives you tons of options. You can choose to do just about anything on your vehicle from right here on the screen. And something that I really like, and other manufacturers have done this as well, but as far as I know, Ram is the first to do it in a pickup truck. The entire owner's manual is accessible from your touchscreen. And not only can you go in and read it, but you can also search for different terms. And of course, you can just grab the book out of the glove box, I know, but it just makes things a little bit easier when you can go into your touchscreen right here, bum, 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 punch in the word, find the page, it'll tell you the information you want to see. I thought that was kind of a neat upgrade. This 2019 Ram 1500 Sport joins an exclusive list made up of things like ketchup chips, coffee crisp chocolate bars, milk in bags, even though that's more of an Ontario thing, and the Nissan Micra as products that are sold up here in Canada that are not available in the United States. So as always, guys, make sure you subscribe to TFL Truck. Let me know, all of you Americans, what you think about this Ram 1500 Sport, whether you would ever buy one, and make sure you come back to TFL Truck for the latest news, views, and real-world reviews. See ya.